Hi, I'm Marty Nemko. I want to do a little debate in which I take both sides of the debate on the question of should you retire. So I will pretend that I'm a person who's undecided, and I'm going to present both the ego and the alter ego, the two sides of the argument, and see if it becomes a useful thing for you as you are deciding whether to retire or maybe that's someone you care about. You know, I'm thinking I should retire. Part of it is altruistic. I think maybe it's time to make way for the next generation. And also, I think I'm still competent, but maybe I'm not as competent as I think, not as up to speed on what's the latest and greatest. I've made only incremental changes to what I do over the last number of years. And so that's what I'm thinking. Okay, alter ego. Yeah, but you're still, better than a hell of a lot of people. You're adding a lot of value, and your experience does count for something. You've learned a lot over the years. Consciously and unconsciously, you might want to apply. Yeah, but, I've done the same thing for a long time. Yeah, I've changed jobs and changed bosses and tweaked things, but maybe it's too late to make a career change. Nobody's going to hire a 64-year-old in something new. So maybe I need to retire and do something new avocationally. Maybe take a class or two. Maybe mentor a young person. I hoped I could do that in my current job, but the company is not really doesn't prioritize that, and I guess I'm not so well liked or respected that young people have sought me out as a mentor. But maybe if I retired and had more bandwidth and more energy. By the way, I am role playing this. This is not me at all. By the way, I have no plans or thoughts about retiring. This is purely a role play. Maybe that extra bandwidth will enable me to find somebody, whether it be through SCORE, which is the Service Corps of Retired Executives, so maybe mentoring a young would-be entrepreneur or person who is in business, or maybe big brothers or sisters, or through my church or synagogue or whatever to mentor some young person who goes, or even a public school nearby, where maybe there's some bright kid who could use some one-on-one, because I believe that that's where most change takes place. Marty, you're romanticizing that. In the end, very often, you don't hear very many examples of where some young person's really eager to have a mentor that much. I think you're romanticizing it, and it's a one-way street. Once you retire, party's over. Yeah, it's true. But I think I can at least, because I can afford to retire. I saw my accountant, and he says as long as I live modestly, I should be able to be okay, and even if I live another 20 years. Yeah, but things change, and we all know people who've had a dramatic health problem, and even though they have insurance, there's so much in terms of co-pays and deductibles and and then just stuff that's simply not covered, that it could drive you into the poorhouse. You should keep working, even for money, if not anything else. On the other hand, forgetting about even the volunteering, we can't cover every risk. I mean, anything could happen. But, there aren't that many people who incur those enormous medical expenses. You hear about those because they're so unusual. You have insurance, you have reasonable insurance. So, I don't know, but then there's this other thing, instead of feeling responsible all the time, every day you've got to get up at 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning to beat the horrible traffic that's getting ever worse, to get into work. Mass transit's even worse, so you're forced to drive. And think about the freedom of being able to get up. You like reading the newspaper, even if it's online, drinking coffee, sleeping late, playing with the cat, and then the freedom to go to a museum, go see a movie in the middle of the afternoon, and get together with fellow retirees and reminisce and also look forward. You know, you're really romanticizing all this. There are a hell of a lot of people, especially people who had, for whom work was so important, who after 6 months of that, or even 6 weeks of that, are feeling like, oh my God, what a mistake I made. I'm going to live another 20 years, and here I am. I've just gone in the one-way street out. It's like the Roach Motel, like the old commercials of the Roach Motel, the little insecticide you can check in, but you can't check out. That's going to happen with you. And also, you know, do you really think that your wife is going to want to have you around? You have a stay-at-home wife, and again, I'm stressing this is a fiction. My wife is not a stay-at-home wife. She's the superintendent of schools in Napa County. You know, you've got a wife who's basically, you know, a stay-at-home wife, or she worked a little bit of part-time. Is she going to really tolerate having you around 24/7? And are you going to want to be around her 24/7? You know, a lot of marriages get awfully strained when retirement happens, because it's all well and good to, at the end of the workday, to, you know, share what happened to each other, you know, in your workday, and you see each other in small bites. But 24/7, you know, even in a good marriage, that can be oppressive. Yeah, but maybe my wife and I would travel more, you know, and maybe our relationship would be better if we spent more time together. Right now, our relationship is very transactional. We come home, yes, we hear a little bit about each other's day, we have dinner together, but then we even parallel play in the evenings. We've been together for so long. You know, I'll go to my computer at night and she'll watch TV. I might play some video games. She might speak with friends on the phone. You know. I'm not sure that having all that time together 24/7 would be a net positive. It certainly adds a risk factor. You know, I've learned in doing these videos that when what comes top of mind and I can just pop out as I have, those tend to be the most important issues. And then when I push it beyond that and I stop to think and I say, what else should I say? What else should I say? I've found that generally it's less important. So I'm going to stop here and simply hope that you found some of this of any value. This is an experiment. I'm trying to expand what I do on YouTube. And I'm curious, I welcome your comments, positive and negative, because I only grow from feedback. Not that I'll take any one person's feedback as the definitive word, but I will certainly consider any comments and then weigh that against my own intuitions. And I, of course, welcome your thumbs up, your thumbs down, your sharing on social media. There's a share button below, or you're subscribing to my channel. And I certainly do thank you for watching. In any event, I am Marty Nemko.